Quick market check-in. Been a while since we looked at the portfolio, and this is a great opportunity to revisit it. Fear and greed index 19, and the market's shitting the bed temporarily. So stay tuned. Tired of meme tokens that promise the moon but leave you holding the bag or just rug? It's time to flip the narrative. Flapjacks launched transparently with locked liquidity, token burns, and real-world utility like exclusive fitness perks. This stack is built to last. Forks divide, syrup binds. Join the stack at flapjacks.xyz. Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip and Farm for Poverty, where we don't trust, we verify, and operate with integrity and transparency. Today is April 8th. You'll be seeing this video much later, but this is a day after the Black Monday event, which interestingly enough, I was witnessing it in real time in Cambodia. And then when the markets woke up in the US, they actually bounced back. They were above 80 for Bitcoin, and now it's kind of bounced around that area. But you guys been following me, you know that I've been talking about these levels for quite some time. And again, I am not a soothsayer. I was just listening to other people that were talking about this, and it's always important to strength test, validate your ideas. So everybody's all bullish on Bitcoin after the halving. We're going to the moon, and it's not about being bearish, but it's about finding the contrarian ideas to whatever you're currently digesting. So I only found a few people that were talking about coming back down to these levels, and that's the people I chose to listen to and take the opportunity to capitalize off of. Because if you're bullish on at least Bitcoin and recognizing its potential and being the best asset commodity to invest in long term, and you believe that technology only goes forward, never unwinds, and that Bitcoin is indeed becoming the next layer in evolution of transferring of information globally, blockchain technology, things of that nature, cryptographic proofs, all that, well, then it just makes common sense to hedge your bets on this and try to understand it from a risk-adjusted mindset and get the best calculated opportunities to acquire this asset as possible. So that means to me, number one, just dollar cost averaging, continuing stack sats. And number two, looking for entry points with a little bit of dry powder on the side, just in case. So that's not going all in at any one time like I did stupidly in the previous market in the shit coins. That is saving some capital on the side and being able to take advantage of market swings. So I was able to get Bitcoin to like 74.5, which is literally, man, just a couple thousand off of the previous all-time high. And when I introduced Bitcoin to my dad in the previous cycle, I think he got in at like 67 and then waited 4 years now for it to bounce back up. So it's just like, wow, 4 years later, it's only 7K higher than what it was in the previous cycle. So it's like, that was a gift in my humble opinion. And I was able to capitalize on that and take advantage of it. That was, back here. We had the 66, 67. This is November 2021. So if you kept some dry, like all this down here is like just noise. So we had 4.5 years of a bear market and noise. And as long as you didn't get shaken out, you're literally back to where you started from. If you jumped into Bitcoin back here, even we'll go with April where we had the double top. So you're looking at 64 in April 2021. And then you zoom all the way out and we get to April 2025, and you would have caught that dip, we were at 74. So like 10K difference in 4 years. Like that is nuts. So that's why I'm still in the camp of believing that it's going to go much higher. And that's why I want to take this opportunity to look at the portfolio that I created. The one that I was saying, this isn't my exact strategy, but I am a dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. I actually have multiple positions in now. So I do a daily buy of different amounts. Well, actually not on Sunday. So Monday through Saturday, anywhere from $25 to $100 a day. And then I have bi-weekly buys, like on the 1st and 15th, I believe. So I've been stacking sats, and that does line up with the don't fuck this up thesis, because that is definitely at this stage now with my investment portfolio, it's more than 80% of what I'm allocating since January 2025. Now, historically, because I had assets from the previous cycle, my portfolio is not sitting in that 80-20 category, but as I continue to only dollar cost average into Bitcoin at this stage, like I haven't bought anything else except for that one additional play that I did on the alts that I'll show you guys, that I showed you previously, and then I will revisit checking the portfolio. But primarily, I just buy Bitcoin, and I'm going to do another video of what that thesis looks like. And it's all about basically trying to take as much of your capital as possible and invest it into Bitcoin. And that includes your living expenses, and then living off of a loan or the debt itself by arbitraging that Bitcoin. So it's like taking, if you could get your whole paycheck put into Bitcoin, and then take all of your bills, consolidate them into one location, like a rewards credit card or a cashback credit card, something like that. And then all of that capital that you're getting from your job or your side hustle goes straight into Bitcoin. And then you take that Bitcoin loan value to pay off your living expenses month to month. So I'll dive into that later, but that's how I'm going definitely more than 80% into Bitcoin at this stage, and not even using traditional banks as a savings account with just dollars sitting in it. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. So anyway, looking at this portfolio, remember it's 80% in the top performing cryptos, and then Raoul Pal's thesis, that is Bitcoin and ETH, or Bitcoin and Solana, or if you're more risky, Bitcoin and SUI. Now, ETH has shit the bed, Solana has continued to shit the bed, and even SUI corrected a little bit. 50%. 60% from its all-time highs. So in this portfolio, I did 50% in Bitcoin and 30% in SOL. And it's been 19 weeks roughly doing this once a week, $100, $50 into Bitcoin, 30 into Solana, 10 into SUI, 5 into Doge, and 5 into Smoky Chicken Fish. And this puts my portfolio at a loss of about $511. Like, I should have 1,900 and I'm down 511. As a standard against Bitcoin, I am down 28%. And if I was only in Bitcoin, I would be down 12. So basically, this portfolio has like a 2x leverage risk ratio against Bitcoin. So if I was in Bitcoin only, after this point, I would still be down 12.76%. But because there is the other assets like Solana, Smoky Chicken Fish, and Doge, even though they're a smaller portfolio allocation, they still give me a leverage downside. But the reason you do that is because you're trying to capture the upside as well. So even though Solana, man, was at around 260 earlier this cycle, 270, and now it's down over 50%, the potential, if it goes back up wherever it was, same thing with SUI, is that you were capturing this downside as well. So all in all, this one is, like I said, about 30% down. Not too bad, I guess. Par for the course. Bitcoin as a whole is down 30% from its all-time high. So that's kind of right on track if you would have bought Bitcoin at the all-time highs. Now, the virtual bacon degen strategy that comes from the moniker of the influencer that I followed, that basically said, take a look at some of the top 100 alts, take your best pick, formulate a thesis, and buy those alts. And I made 2 different purchases. One was right before the bull run took off, actually it was right after. I apologize. I got in right after. Everything had already shot up, and I thought that there was still some upside. Then I made another same allocation percentage of 1,500, and then weighted it against the different assets in there at a different ratio. Same assets, just different amounts. So there's been a total of 3K put into this portfolio, and it is down basically 50%. So technically, I look at the chart, doesn't show it. I think the chart shows like 46%. We'll just call it 50. And then again, Bitcoin would only be down about 12. So this is the altcoin portfolio has 2x more leverage on top of the Bitcoin portfolio. So that makes sense. So this to me is manageable risk, or proper risk management for me compared to last cycle. And again, what I'm mainly doing is taking my monthly income and putting it all into Bitcoin, and having very little in a savings account of just sitting in fiat. I'd much rather buy Bitcoin with it. And if I need something, then I would just take a loan out against that Bitcoin. So that's the portfolio update. Basically just down and to the right. It's in the red, but based off of all of the research that I'm doing, people I'm following and digesting, I believe we will course correct at some stage. I don't know when. I've said that by the end of second quarter, I believe this will turn around. So April might still be a bearish month, but there's a video I'm going to bring up from Raoul Pal where he said this is actually what we're seeing play out publicly between China and the US is actually completely different than what's going on behind closed doors. So we might be the ones not privy to the behind the scenes information, and the markets are just reacting emotionally. But behind the scenes, this has all actually been calculated and played out. So seeing this tariff war back and forth, it could literally be part of what they already planned to do just to weaken the dollar, basically, because China has a lot of dollar denominated debt. I don't know. That's coming from Raoul Pal, so I'll play that clip, show you guys. And again, far beyond my scope of understanding, but these are the people that I listen to because it helps me to steady my hand and stay convicted in this and sack sats and not get shaken out emotionally, and then get excited when stuff like this happens. Like, this is the first time I actually feel good seeing this. So when the market collapsed and I had buy orders in, I was like, this is awesome. It is a completely different feeling than how I felt in the previous cycle, because I was, one, over leveraged, and two, I was in shit tokens and digesting cult community narratives. Now I'm on the outside and I can digest both the bullish and bearish narratives of Bitcoin. And for the most part, everybody's bearish. So it's really amazing for me to actually be on the contrarian camp and only finding a few people saying the complete opposite, but that ties into the actual thesis of how you make money in markets. Going back to Warren Buffett, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. So, and that only works if you're in the right assets. Like, if you're greedy when others are fearful and you're greedy with shit coins, well, you're going to get wrecked. But I'm greedy right now with Bitcoin, and I'm like, this is a fucking gift. I can't believe this. This is awesome. So I'm doubling down, tripling down, and finding ways to save even more money. And that's another one, just kind of as I exit this and tie this up, planning on probably kind of floating around free flow, hanging out with my parents so I can not have rent for about 3 months, just so I can stack that. So visiting my dad in Thailand and going back to the US as I make my trip down to Colombia to find a new place to stay. So that'll be 3 months worth of rent that I can throw into Bitcoin as well. So that's what it's all about. It's living below or spending less than you earn so that you can accumulate more of an appreciated asset that will outperform fiat and other commodities and assets. Hashtag Bitcoin. All right, smash that HBO special, help a brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, live daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.
Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? Spritz Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.